The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. On June 25th and 26th, the StarCityGames.com Open Series comes to Baltimore, and this event is going to be huge. We're talking hundreds of players, over $14,000 in cash prizes, at least 18 players qualified for the Charlotte Invitational at the end of the year. Live coverage all day long, courtesy of SCG Live, tons of side events, and as much Magic the Gathering as we can pack into one weekend. So make plans to join StarCityGames.com in Baltimore, and we'll see you there.
Here lies information passed on by the pros for the Timmies, Johnnies, Spikes, and the Joes. The more you watch, the more you know. So sit down, shut up, and listen. This is the infamous Con. Welcome to the Magic Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of the Magic Show. Yes, we're back. My hiatus is complete. My new son Miles is here. SCGMobile is officially a thing and we're ready to talk some Magic. You want to look at some Commander and M12 goodies while we lament the power level of Stoneforge Mystic? Let's go. So welcome back everyone. First let me cover my personal pet project, SCGMobile. Now I designed this sucker from the bottom up and let me tell you, I am super duper happy with the results. Thousands of Magic players just like you are finding the easiest way to view StarCityGames.com content on the iPhone and are enjoying the most advanced live counter ever produced. Now I know, I go on, but it's my baby, seriously. I worked on this thing for a year. I can't enjoy it? I mean, really? No major Magic website, not even the mothership, has their own app. And yes, Premium is on its way. Let me share with you the first ever screenshot of the app accessing Premium. Yep, that's coming in just a few weeks. Now, for a quick fact, here you go. Yes, an Android version is being worked on. No, we're not looking at BlackBerry or Windows Mobile or Palm Pre or anything beyond iPhones and Android phones at this point. Yes, we're aware it doesn't stream SCG Live or let you deck build or buy cards directly from the website proper. That said, when you get SCGMobile, you will get free lifetime upgrades. Now, that means that when Premium is added, you're good to go. When shopping cart features are added, you're ready on day one. Real-time pricing was the last feature added, and I trust you traders out there are getting plenty of good results by using it to quickly and easily find prices that you're looking for. Alright, so enough about my stuff. What about the Magics? Let's first talk about Commander. Now let me just say this loud and clear. If Wizards isn't working on a new Commander product for 2012, they are missing the boat. And by that I mean a big boat filled with huge piles of money. And I mean it. This product is incredibly, and I mean incredibly popular. Here at StarCityGames.com, we've basically sold out of everything. And I mean everyone is clamoring for these decks. They're even going over MSRP at this point. You want fun, wacky effects? This thing's got them. You want fringe playable legacy cards? This thing's got them. You want an introduction to the most dominating casual format in the game? This thing's got it. Now let me put it another way. The demand for Commander hasn't been seen since the reveal of Zendikar Hidden Treasures. That's right, only hiding moxes in the packs can compete with this product. Now that's awesome. What do I think? I think it looks fun as hell. The Mimeoplasm has some of the coolest abilities and artwork ever. New format staples like Command Tower are perfect and can only exist as Magic cards in this format. And is that a Soul Ring and Lightning Greaves in every deck? You bet it is. This thing is so good, it's got a guy like myself who doesn't even play the format and has never warmed up to it, thinking about playing. Ultra Pro has released a sweet new deck box and oversized sleeves, and players all around the world are drooling to get a hold of these awesome new decks. But how about that M12? Yes, another year, another core set, and Wizards is struggling to keep up with the 1-2 punch of M10 and M11. First up is the new keyword, Hexproof. Yes, we've been calling it Troll Shroud for years, but now it's time to get an official keyword. The cards currently featuring the keyword are both green, no surprise, in the form of Dungrove Elder and Gladecover Scout. This is a card that makes Timmy squeal, as you're free to play as many forests as you want and make this guy abnormally large. He'll only be stocked with Death Touch or cards like Day of Judgment, so go nuts. Unfortunately, it's not Troll Ascetic or Thrun the Last Troll, and that it lacks regeneration, but still a fine rare. How about the new dies terminology? I, for one, am loving this, as we as Magic players may now quickly and succinctly explain what happens to our dude. That dude there, well, he's dead. he died. In fact, when he dies, something cool happens. With this terminology comes the info that Archon of Justice is coming back, a neat rare from Eventide. While it saw a teeny tiny amount of constructed play, I think it's best to return for its commander potential along with being awesome and limited. But what is the returning mechanic for M12? Well, M11 gave us Scry, which led to Preordain, the most popular card in the constructed top 8 these days this side of Jace the Mind Sculptor. And M12, however, well, it goes a bit more beat down. Bloodthirst is coming back. Yeah, get your beats on and be prepared for +1/+1 counter goodness. Back in the day, a wee bit of Bloodthirst actually impacted constructed for a while, as Scab Clan Mauler would often follow a Mog Fanatic or Curd Ape to threaten serious beats on turn 3 and beyond. While we haven't really seen any constructed worthy Bloodthirst cards yet from M12, I got a feeling we may get 1 or 2 powerhouses. That said, how about some goodies? Well, the card I'm actually most excited about for M12 is Hunter's Insight. Now, this is a power uncommon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring up a quick comparison with another card I was excited about, Momentous Fall. Now, this Rise of the Eldrazi rare had one big problem with it. The words, as an additional cost, sacrifice a creature. This is simply too much to go in on a spell these days, with Mana Leak and Spell Pierce hanging out kicking butt. But look at Hunter's Insight. Yes, it is an instant. I'm convinced a year or 3 ago this would have been a terrible sorcery and we wouldn't have said a word about it. There's no sacrifice involved. It works whether or not you're attacking a player or their planeswalker, and yes, the downside is that the creature can die in response. And my answer is... So, I mean, doesn't every spell that targets a creature have a downside? I mean, isn't it obvious that Wizards pushed this as hard as they could, costing only 3 mana and potentially drawing you a ton of cards? I mean, wait until they tap out, draw a whopping 4 cards or more off your Vengevine or Leatherback Baloth or whatever. I mean, yeah. Lastly, we have another broken card reprinted as a creature in the form of Jace's Archivist. Yes, that is Windfall on a creature's activated ability, and I do expect some sort of wacky deck to use it. Even if it's just for casual decks these days, I love the trend of seeing cards that are broken as spells return as tap abilities for creatures, with Fauna Shaman and now Jace's Archivist really showing how cool that can be. Now we're just getting started on M12, and while Soren Markov and Gideon Jura are confirmed to return in their original form, the jury is still out for a possible new Chandra, Garruk, or Jace. Okay, no new Jace, please. I mean, really? I'm happy with another year of Mr. Bellerin. Now, on to Standard. Standard. You used to be so cool. You used to have interesting aggro builds and control shells. You used to combo out with Open the Vaults and play Naya colors. Well, now we have a lame duck format, dominated by the menace that is Caw-Blade, which is certainly becoming synonymous with blue-white control, a deck that has grown so powerful it has squeezed out most of the other decks in contention. Yes, last week's Denver Open was won by Vampires after meeting Red Deck wins in the finals. Yes, only 3 copies of Caw-Blade were in the top 8. Yes, that all sounds promising. However, there's just one problem. The damage from Caw-Blade has been done, and many are bitter about it. Yes, these aggressive decks are winning, but mainly because Caw-Blade has spent so many months beating the piss out of them to the point where they're all tuning for the mirror match, leaving those silly Day of Judgments and Gideon Juras behind. You remember that show I made a few weeks ago about banning Jace the Mind Sculptor? You remember when I called Valakut the Phantom Menace? And that it was really the card that was actually suppressing the format and keeping Vengevine and aggro decks down? Well, I was wrong. All it takes is a set release and the truth is revealed. Stoneforge Mystic in all her glory has broken Standard. Standard is, as best as anyone can tell, a completely broken format. While some would call it the best format of all time, I think those people are a lot incorrect. Stoneforge Mystic's interaction with Batterskull is not to be underestimated. The fact that it completely takes over Caw-Blade mirrors while also destroying any hopes of many aggro decks means that something is rotten in Denmark. If you run 2 Batterskull, you're effectively running 6. If you run a sort of Feast and Famine and War and Peace, well, you're running 5 copies now, and that's good, right? I mean, having a card that tutors up the most powerful equipment ever printed and letting you put it into play for a white and a colorless mana, all while being uncounterable, is really fair, right? What really blows my mind is how Wizards has a card like Stoneforge Mystic, and not only prints it in their event deck, which was a pretty good idea 6 months ago when they made that decision, and a very bad idea in hindsight, but then gives it the most amazing living weapon ever printed. Do you know that Batterskull's second ability was originally 8 mana : put a 0/0 germ onto the battlefield attached to it? Part of me thought that would be too good, but then I realized that cycling the entire equipment back to hand and back into play just for 5 mana using Stoneforge Mystic's ability is way better. It's funny, the design of Magic cards. Funnier still, the development of them. People ask, didn't Wizards see this combo? Didn't they understand how good Stoneforge Mystic was? Of course they knew how good she was. Of course they knew it was a combo. However, R&D are still human, and as such, still make some big mistakes. They missed Deceiver Exart and Splinter Twin, for example, but luckily they've put enough safety valves like Combust and Spellskite in the format to keep us being completely overrun by that dumb interaction. Next Monday, we're getting a ban list update, and trust me, the whole Magic community is waiting with bated breath. What will it hold? My guess is at least some bannings. We're in a position in competitive Magic where you play Stoneforge Mystic or you play anti-Stoneforge Mystic. Jace the Mind Sculptor is overpowered, don't get me wrong, but he's a 4-mana spell, one that comes down on turn 3 or 4, can be countered, attacked, and doesn't tutor the best cards in the format directly to your hand, nor does he put any of them directly into play uncounterable. Now the real interesting question is, who's to blame? Is it R&D who do their best to provide us with a fun, balanced game full of surprises and excitement? Is it the Open Series competitors battling with only the very best deck possible in an effort to climb the Players Club rankings? Is it rogue deck builders who have failed us in making another pillar of the format, leaving the entire thing to hinge on a single blue-white control deck? I don't know, but I do know this. People have stopped showing up to PTQs and standard opens like they used to. Compare last year's Jund to this year's Cobblade. My buddy Ryan noted the other day that when an uncommon is the best card in the format, everyone and their mom is playing. But you switch the best card to a mythic, and you have today's format. Words to chew on, no? I'm curious what you think, and I for one can't wait for Monday and its revelations. Do note that there's a chance that nothing happens on Monday. Sometimes the course of action you're forced to take is none at all. Fingers crossed this is not the case. I'll leave you this week with the crowning of our latest invitational champion, Patrick Cox. Congratulations on taking home the $10,000 check and becoming the first invitational winner of 2011. Until next time, Magic players, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to.
And your 2011 Indianapolis Invitational Champion, Patrick Cox. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2011 Invitational Champion, Patrick Cox.
I always like the fatties.